Close your eyes for a moment. Can you hear it? That soft, steady sound against your window. It is the sound of 1,000 tiny heartbeats. It is the sound of rain. Have you ever wondered about the very first drop of rain? Long before there were cities, cars, or even humans, there was the rain. It has been falling on our blue planet for billions of years. It is perhaps the oldest storyteller in the world. Think about how you feel when the clouds turn gray. Do you feel a little bit of magic in the air? Do you feel a sense of peace? For most of us, rain is just the weather. But for our ancestors, it was the most important thing in the universe. Every person who has ever lived has watched the rain. From the kings in their gold palaces to the travelers sleeping under the stars. We all share this one thing. When you stand in the rain, you are touching history. You are touching the same water that touched the earth 1,000,000 years ago. Is rain just water falling from the sky, or is it something more? Today, my friends, we are going to take a journey. We are going to travel through time to see how rain has shaped our hearts, our stories, and our very lives. Imagine you are standing in a wide open field. The air is hot and dry. The ground is thirsty. Then you feel it, one cold drop on your skin. That feeling has not changed in 10,000 years. It is a feeling of wonder. It is a feeling of hope. Are you ready to discover the secrets of the clouds? Let us go back to the beginning, when the world was young and the rain was a mystery. In the ancient world, people did not have apps on their phones to check the weather. They did not have satellites in space. To them, the sky was a giant, mysterious curtain. And behind that curtain, they believed powerful gods were watching. In ancient Egypt, the rain was rare, but the Nile River was everything. However, in other places, like Mesopotamia, the rain was a terrifying force. They believed in Enlil, a god of storms who could bring life-giving water or a world-ending flood. Imagine living in a small wooden hut thousands of years ago. A storm begins. The thunder shakes the ground like a giant's voice. The lightning cuts through the dark sky like a golden sword. What would you think? You would probably think the gods were angry. Ancient people did everything they could to please these sky gods. In the dry lands of Central America, the Maya people built great temples for Chak, their rain god. They offered him gifts. They danced. They sang songs that mimicked the sound of falling water. Why did they do this? Because they knew a simple truth. No rain meant no food. No food meant the end of their world. Rain was not just a natural event. It was a divine gift. It was a sign that the universe was happy with them. Have you ever felt small during a big storm? That feeling of awe is what the ancients felt every day. They respected the rain. They feared it. But most of all, they loved it. Even today, we can find these old stories in our language. When we talk about the heavens opening up, we are using the words of our ancestors. We are remembering a time when every raindrop was a message from a god. As humans stopped wandering and began to build homes, their relationship with rain changed. This was the birth of farming. This was the moment rain became a partner in our survival. Think about a tiny seed in the dark earth. It is waiting. It is sleeping. It needs one thing to wake up: water. When the first farmers learned to follow the patterns of the rain, the world changed forever. They began to watch the stars. They watched the birds and the behavior of animals. When the swallows fly low, they would say, "The rain is coming." This was the first kind of science. It was the science of survival. In the mountains of Asia and the valleys of Europe, humans built clever ways to catch the rain. They built terraces on hills. They dug long channels to lead the rainwater to their thirsty crops. They were learning to dance with the rhythm of the seasons. Rain allowed us to stay in one place. It allowed us to build cities. It allowed us to have families and stores and schools. Without the steady gift of the rain, the great civilizations of the past would never have existed. But rain was a difficult partner. Sometimes it did not come for months. This was called a drought. The ground would crack like broken glass. During these times, rain was the only thing people thought about. It was more valuable than gold. Can you imagine the joy of a village when the first rain finally fell after a long drought? They would run out into the streets. They would laugh and let the water soak their clothes. To them, rain was the very blood of the earth. In the Middle Ages, the world felt very magical and often a bit scary. People lived close to the forest and the fields. To them, the rain was filled with secrets and whispers. During this time, people believed that rain carried omens. An omen is a sign of something that will happen in the future. If it rained on a wedding day, some said it was a sign of many children. Others said it was the sky crying for the bride. There were many strange beliefs. People thought that if they killed a spider, it would rain. They believed that ringing church bells could break a thunderstorm and send the lightning away. They were trying to find a way to talk to the sky. Rain also shaped the way people lived. Because the roads were made of dirt, rain turned everything into thick, sticky mud. This is why people started wearing wooden shoes or tall boots. The rain dictated how they dressed and how they traveled. In their stories and folklore, the rain was often a character. It was a blessing from the Christian God. Farmers would pray to saints for a good harvest. They would walk through the fields with holy water, asking the clouds to be kind. But there was also a dark side. Too much rain brought the Great Famine. If the rain did not stop, the wheat would rot in the fields. During these long, gray months, rain felt like a curse. It was a reminder that humans were not the masters of the world. Think about a traveler in the year 1200, lost in a forest during a heavy rain. No flashlight, no waterproof jacket, just a heavy wool cloak and the sound of the wind. In those moments, the rain felt like a powerful, living spirit. Then came a time called the Enlightenment. This was a time when humans started to ask a new question. They stopped asking, "Who is sending the rain?" and started asking, "How does the rain work?" Scientists began to measure things. They invented the rain gauge, a simple cup to see how much water fell. They invented the barometer to measure the weight of the air. They were trying to look inside the engine of the world. In the year 1802, a man named Luke Howard did something wonderful. He gave names to the clouds. Before him, people just called them big clouds or dark clouds. But Howard used Latin names like cumulus, stratus, and cirrus. Suddenly, the sky had an order. People began to understand the water cycle. They realized that the water in the ocean turns into invisible vapor. It rises into the cold air. It gathers together to form clouds, and then it falls again as rain. This was a huge discovery. It meant that the rain you see today might be the same water that was in a river in Africa last year. The rain was a great circle. It was the Earth's way of recycling life. Science did not make the rain less beautiful. In fact, it made it more amazing. We learned that a single raindrop is not shaped like a tear. It is actually shaped like a little hamburger bun. Think about that for a second. Millions of tiny hamburger buns falling from the sky to feed the trees. We started to see the rain as a beautiful machine, a machine made of air, heat, and water. As the 1800s arrived, the world changed again. Huge factories were built. People moved from the green farms to the gray cities. This was the Industrial Revolution. And in the city, rain felt very different. In the countryside, rain was a friend to the farmer, but in the city, rain was a problem for the worker. It mixed with the coal smoke from factories to create black rain. It made the streets dirty and the air smell like metal. This is the time when the umbrella became popular. Before this, umbrellas were seen as a luxury for the rich, or something only for women. But soon, every businessman in London or New York carried one. The umbrella became a shield against the urban world. Think about the famous writers of that time, like Charles Dickens. In his books, the rain is often sad and cold. It represents the loneliness of the big city. The London fog and the constant drizzle became symbols of a new, modern kind of sadness. But the city also learned to manage the rain. Engineers built great sewers under the streets. They paved the roads with stones so people wouldn't get stuck in the mud. We were trying to push the rain away, to make it invisible. The rain became something to avoid. We built indoor malls and covered train stations. We started to see the rain as an inconvenience. "Oh no, it's raining," we started to say. "I don't want to get my shoes wet." But even in the city, the rain had a hidden beauty. At night, the gas lamps reflected in the wet cobblestones. The city looked like it was covered in diamonds. Even in the middle of all the smoke and noise, the rain brought a touch of the wild world into the streets. Today, we live in the age of information. We have weather apps that tell us exactly when the rain will start, down to the minute. We have massive computers that simulate the entire atmosphere of the Earth. This is the science of meteorology. We use satellites in space to take pictures of giant storms. We use radar to see the rain inside the clouds before it even falls. We have turned the mystery of the sky into a math problem. But as we learned to predict the rain, we also learned something frightening. We learned that the rain is changing. Because of climate change, the patterns our ancestors followed for thousands of years are breaking. In some parts of the world, it is raining too much, leading to terrible floods. In other parts, the rain has stopped coming entirely, causing deep droughts. The balance of the water cycle is hurting. We now know that what we do in our cities affects the rain in the mountains. If we burn too much oil and gas, the air gets warmer. Warmer air holds more water. This means when it rains, it pours harder than ever before. For the first time in history, humans are not just watching the rain, we are changing it. This is a big responsibility. We are realizing that we must protect the rain if we want to protect ourselves. Do you ever look at the weather forecast on your phone? It feels like magic, doesn't it? But remember, behind those numbers and icons is a giant, living planet that is trying to stay in balance. The rain is telling us that we are all connected. Rain is not just science and history, it is also a feeling. Think about your favorite song or a famous movie. How many times does the rain appear when something emotional happens? In our culture, rain has many meanings. It can mean sadness, like a person crying, but it can also mean renewal and washing away the past. In many movies, the hero stands in the rain when they finally realize the truth. Think about the famous song, "Singin' in the Rain." In that story, the rain is a symbol of pure joy. The character doesn't care that he is getting wet. He is in love, and the rain feels like a celebration. In Japan, there is a beautiful word, ameadori. It means taking shelter from the rain. It describes that quiet moment when you stand under a roof with a stranger, waiting for the storm to pass. In those moments, the rain brings people together. Artists have always loved the rain. Painters like Van Gogh tried to capture the lines of the rain on canvas. Poets write about the patter of the drops on the roof. They use the rain to talk about things that are hard to say with words. Have you ever felt cozy during a rainy day? You stay inside with a hot cup of tea and a good book. That feeling has a name in some languages. It is the feeling of being safe while the wild world moves outside. Rain speaks to our souls. It reminds us that it is okay to be sad, and it is okay to slow down. It teaches us that beauty can be found in a gray sky, not just in the sun. We have traveled a long way, haven't we? From the ancient gods of thunder to the satellites in the sky. We've seen how rain built our farms, moved us into cities, and inspired our greatest songs. But the story of rain is not finished. It is a story that is being written every single day. Every time a cloud forms over the ocean, a new chapter begins. In the future, our relationship with rain will be more important than ever. We will need to learn how to share the water. We will need to find ways to keep our air clean so the rain stays pure. We are the guardians of the clouds now. Next time it rains, I want you to do something. Don't run for your umbrella immediately. Just for a second, stop. Look at the sky. Feel the cool air on your face. Listen to the music of the drops. Remember that you are part of a very old dance. You are standing in the same rain that the dinosaurs felt. You are watching the same sky that the first farmers watched. You are connected to every human who has ever lived. Rain is a gift. It is a reminder that the earth is alive. It is a reminder that after every storm, the world is washed clean and ready for a new beginning. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the history of the rain. May the next storm bring you peace, wonder, and a little bit of magic. Until next time, my friends, keep listening to the clouds.